Erik ten Hag is willing to spend huge on Victor Osimhen, who plays for Napoli right now and is having a very good season, scoring goals in, goals out. Over the weekend, I saw him score a brace when they are really playing. Which side was they playing? He scored a brace over the weekend, and Victor Osimhen is really a Nigerian African player, 24 years of age, and he is playing for Napoli. 1.8 meters tall, he's a forward, and obviously scoring in goals. In 17 games in Serie A, he has scored 16 goals. That is Victor Osimhen. In the Champions League, he has played 3 games and scored 1 goal, but that has been courtesy of his injuries. But obviously, in the Serie A, he's really scoring very many goals and looking like he's going to really break the records in the Serie A because he has only played 17 games, and I believe he's going to go on and really score more because he has gone ahead to rectify his injury problems at Napoli. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. And hit the black button that has the word subscribe. After hitting it, smash the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Now, we know that today we are playing a team known as Leeds, and I think the next 2-3 hours you're going to be live as we bring you the confirmed team news. That is close to 1 hour to the start of the game at Old Trafford. Will be live here letting you know what all this is all about. Now, Telegraph Daka, you know him, James Daka is a correspondent of United, and he's getting these stories from the club. He's being briefed by the club, has told us that Erik ten Hag is weighing up whether to move for Kane or Victor Osimhen. That is what Telegraph Daka is really talking about, because United is charging in for a world-class number 9, and Ten Hag has made a world-class number 9 his priority signing. Now, the difference between all these two is really known that it's all about age. It's all about age and the energy. Kane is a good striker, but age is not on his side. Victor Osimhen is a good striker. He's exploding this season, and age is on his side. And if I told you a fan of Manchester United, would you love to get in a striker who is 30 years of age at 80-90 million pounds, or to go on and cough out a huge amount of money like 120 million pounds for a Victor Osimhen, who is 24 years of age and obviously trying to adventure everything? But he started his story by telling us that they are really weighing in the transfer of those two players. Then he went ahead to let us know that Manchester United club sources say Victor Osimhen is a better fit for Erik ten Hag, who wants a more mobile goal scorer who offers speed, power, and pressing as well as goals. If you talk about speed, power, pressing, obviously you cross out the name of Kane. Kane doesn't offer speed, doesn't offer power, he doesn't offer pressing, but he gets you goals and doing the number 10 job by dropping deep into the midfield, get that ball, and obviously do the needful. But he's doing that job because at Spurs they don't have a number 10 like Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, Odegaard, such players. They don't have him. That's why he drops deep. And that's why even the structure of the English national team really changed, because they are trying to really make Kane a better player to fit into that team, because a number 10 drops deep and really goes ahead to do the hold-up play most of the times and find himself releasing even other forwards through the central axis positions of the midfield. So, but talk about speed. Osimhen, no one beats him. He's one of the fastest strikers in the world right now. Power, he's strong. He's strong. Physicality battles will be won by him. Thirdly, the way he presses on the front foot, because the first line of defense is the striker that really presses in the final third or in the half of the opponent. Then the second line of defense are the other midfielders, the 3 midfielders. The fourth line of defense are the CDMs. The third line of defense, those are the defenders, and the last line of defense is the goalkeeper. So he can lead the line of defense, the first line of defense, favorably because of his good pressing, and obviously even in scoring goals, he's really a very good goal scorer. So I believe Ten Hag is really looking at that with the club, that this guy offers more than Harry Kane. That is it. So I believe Ten Hag really has a say into this. And obviously, Victor Osimhen has gone ahead to prove himself in the top world strikers football this season. Then we've been told by Telegraph Dhaka that Erik ten Hag has watched plenty of footage of Osimhen since last summer, and although he's unconvinced about some elements of his game and has struggled with injuries, it has been noted that his progress continued this season. I believe Victor Osimhen, fine, he gets injuries, but his recovery rate is really high. He recovers early enough and he comes back on time. This season, he has played more games than Anton Martial. Look at our striker, Anton Martial. I rather have a Victor Osimhen, who is going to play close to 50 games of my season, and then he gets injured like for 4 or 5 weeks. You get? And when you look at Harry Kane, he also has a very bad injury record. Now, he has been facing that when he was still in his early 20s. Now, do you know what is going to happen to Harry Kane in his early 30s, because he's clocking 30 this year? Do you know what is going to happen to him? Nobody knows and no one can tell. So what does that really communicate to you? That Harry Kane is an injury-prone player, but Osimhen is young and he has shown us that this season he has really recovered and is playing very, very well for the club of Napoli and scoring in goals. And if at all you've been not watching him, try to watch him out. I watched him out on the weekend. He scored a brace and the manager just took him off, I think, to reserve him, but he would have gone ahead and really even score a hat-trick, because looks like he was way far ahead of the team he was playing for. And him talking about some elements of his game, I think he's still in the learning age. He has not yet hit his prime. I believe he has 2 years ahead of him to hit his prime. I think at 25, 26, that's when most players really hit their prime. And I believe he is also willing to come to Manchester United and get the job done and dusted. That is Victor Osimhen. And now we've been told by Football Joe, the decision of Erik ten Hag and Manchester United is that they are willing to spend huge money on Victor Osimhen, according to reports in Italy. So Erik ten Hag has identified Victor Osimhen as his number 1 target. The others are options. Benjamin Sesko, Harry Kane, Goncalo Ramos, those are options. Tammy Abraham, those are options. His number 1 target is Victor Osimhen, and is willing to go on and really spend huge money. Let's see what huge money are they really willing to spend for all on the player of Napoli. All right. Now, we're having a story coming in from the Sports Witness, confirming to us that Napoli want £134 million for Victor Osimhen this summer and are planning for an auction. They are planning for an auction. Manchester United want to get in the pole position to sign him. That is Martindoni Napoli. So this is a Napoli correspondent, and in Napoli, if there is anything United is thinking about that is going to really to change the mind of Napoli or stand Napoli to sell the player, it should be between £134 million. That is close to 150 million euros for a player like him. And guys, this is where I come out and say I can't allow that. And if at all Victor Osimhen is going to go for that amount of money, that means we aren't going to sign him. Do you know why? Even if the club is going to be put on sale and you're going to be getting new owners who are really having win money. You've seen a story today that I did early in the morning about the Qataris who are really trying to go on and really sell the club and buy the club of Manchester United down in Qatar. And Avram Greza has been seen in Qatar for several times. They won't be able to dish out a lot of money in the summer. Do you know why? We really spent a lot of money badly, and we dished out gigantic salaries or astronomical wages to players of Manchester United that are affecting our financial fair play. That means we should be spending in our means. So it's said, if you are to go all out and get in players, we should sell to buy. That's why yesterday I brought you a story that the club of Manchester United has listed close to 7 players to be sold in the summer to collect close to £200 million to spend on these players. Now, you can't tell me that if at all the club raises £200 million, they are going to get off 150 million pounds and getting Victor Osimhen. I believe there are very many other players like Dusan Vlahovic that can come in and do the job at like 80 million pounds. I think that should be the way for Ten Hag to look at. Benjamin Šeško at 60 million pounds. You can have him to come to your club and to come to our club and really play some good football for us. So, as it stands, I don't agree with United coughing close to 134 million pounds on a player known as Victor Osimhen, because it's really huge for us to spend that. When you bring in a striker like Victor Osimhen on that amount of money, a lot of pressure is going to be onto him. Will he handle the pressure? I doubt, because this is Manchester United and very many players have come in here on huge wages and with high profiles and they've failed. So I believe it's better to go on and bring in the next Harry Kane, the next Haaland, the next Kylian Mbappe, like you see Benjamin Šeško being talked about to be the next Haaland. However much he was sold to RB Leipzig and is going to join in the summer, I believe if we offered them 60 million pounds, because they bought him on 20 million pounds, if you offer them 60 million pounds, they'll get us Benjamin Šeško, because he's really good. You have Weghorst, Benjamin Šeško, and Martial, 3 strikers, and that's what Ten Hag really wants. So I'm 100% against United buying a striker of 150 million pounds. Why should we go ahead and really do that? I'm 100% not in for that. Then Harry Kane is also one of those that Erik Ten Hag is really keeping an eye on, and we are told by James Dunker, the United correspondent for Telegraph, that Erik Ten Hag acknowledges that Harry Kane brings unique qualities, that he creates and scores like a number 9 and number 10, that he knows the Premier League inside out, that he is used to handling pressure, and that he has never been dependent on speed. Now, amidst all that, those are options that Ten Hag is having, but his main man is Victor Osimhen. But Harry Kane, for me, I believe you can tell me that we are going to get 100 million pounds and spend it on Harry Kane, a 30-year-old player. That's out. However much is proven, we should get in a player who is still youthful. That means you buy Harry Kane for 30 million pounds. That means we're going to go all out and really, in the next 1 or 2 seasons, go in and really looking for another world-class striker. I think it's time we got in a next or a top-class striker that can bang in those goals, and then later we groom him into a player that we want him to be. Ten Hag has shown us that he's really one of those. He's really so good at improving those players. Look at Aaron Bissaka, very much improved player. Scott McTominay, before Casemiro came in through, he looked like something nearing good in the games of Liverpool, Leicester City, Southampton, and which other game? I think he played like 3 or 4 games when he was playing as a CDM alongside Eriksen, and really looked great. So I believe Ten Hag is a person or a manager who is really good at improving players, and I think it's high time we got to know that we need to improve these players by getting in players that are really young. Why should we go in for old players? You get? You should go in for old players when he is the remaining piece to fill that jigsaw. But that jigsaw of Manchester United, it's not the missing piece. I believe the missing pieces are still in the midfield. You get? Because I saw Man City win a trophy, not even 1 or 2 or 3, when they're not having a typical number 9. But the fact is, the team was creating chances. Our problem is not goal scorers. Our problem is creating chances. Look at Weghorst. In the entire 90 minutes, he can spend it on the field of play without him getting a clinch, without him getting a clear-cut chance. That's what we should be working on for. That let's first work on really creating what we call clear-cut chances. Because if at all you create clear-cut chances, even if it's Bruno who's leading the line, or Martial, or Rashford, or Weghorst, or who, we will score. Because chances are going to be created, because we are having clinical players at Manchester United. So I believe, to me, with Harry Kane, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the idea of really bringing him to the club of Manchester United. Then, let's leave that at that. But Rio Ferdinand has gone ahead and talked about Sancho. Remember, Sancho is in contention to start today ahead of the game of Leeds. Do you know why? Anthony is really injured, and you never know. Erik Ten Hag can use him as a cam or a right winger in the game of football we're going to play, as he really did it in the game of Nottingham. When Sancho came on through, he played centrally. Obviously, Bruno switched off to the right, and I think they can play well interchanging. Bruno cuts in, Sancho goes wide like that. It would be something great for us to really experience again after that Nottingham Forest game where we won it by 2-0. And he hinted about him having not gotten playing time in the game of Crystal Palace because of the Casemiro red card. Now, Rio Ferdinand, a United legend, has said Sancho can get back to his... If Sancho can get back to his best, it will be like a new signing for the club. If you have someone like him, with the talent he has, playing at his best, he is a threat to anyone. Now, what he's saying is right, and I believe he's going to get back there. There are some people who don't want to hear that Sancho is like a new signing. I believe he is, because he has been away for 3-4 months, not playing the game of football of Manchester United. Now, him returning at this juncture, when most of the players are really injured, he's like a new signing, because if he was away and Anthony got injured, we would have said, who's really going to go in? Anthony Elanga? Are you bringing in Facundo Pelestri? But right now, we are blessed with the presence of Jodan Sancho at the club of Manchester United. And if at all he's going to get back to his best, of which I know he's going to get back to his best, because when you look at Rashford, when you have to put their talents, him and Sancho on a weighing scale, Sancho is a more talented player than Rashford. Rashford has picked up early enough, Sancho has not yet, but they are all under the same manager. So, of the two, Sancho and Rashford, who looks more of a Ten Hag player? The answer is simple. Sancho is the typical Ten Hag player. So, he's going to get back to where he's supposed to be. And you look at the season, when you look at him when he started the season, he started it very well. Scoring against Liverpool, scoring against Leicester City, scoring against Sheffield away, creating the assist that saw us beat Omonia at Old Trafford. He really looked like the season had really started off well, but I think what really put him down was him not to be included into the UEFA Nations League of England team, and again missing out on the World Cup. I think that really beat his mind bad and felt bad. That really took him off, and he never really thought about it. But I think right now, Ten Hag has done his job. We sent him away to Netherlands, and Sancho is back fully fit and running. Now, there is this story that has been told us by Telegraph Dhaka, but I really doubt it. You know, the English media always has a way of really integrating its players in the transfer rumors to be linked to the big teams at the club of Manchester United, because they know United is the biggest team that makes a lot of news all over the world. We've been told by James Ducker that Tammy Abraham is thought to have been discussed as one of the several fallback positions as a striker. Good. He has brought it very well. That one of the options being discussed, but he's not one of those options that we are going to go all out for and sign, because I think there is no reason between Weghorst and Tammy Abraham. I believe Weghorst has more to his game than Tammy Abraham, not so? So, I believe bringing in Tammy Abraham, that is dropping standards. It's a degradation. You get? I'd rather get Ivan Toney. You get? Instead of Tammy Abraham. I understand Ivan Toney cannot come to Manchester United because he's being allegedly accused of having gotten himself involved in the betting stuff. But I think Ivan Toney is better than Tammy Abraham. So, but him being discussed by the board is okay, because John Mata, the director of football for Manchester United, is really one of those that his scouting is really limited. It's limited. It's shite. So I can't get surprised if at all we hear such discussions in the boardroom of Manchester United as far as signing the next striker is concerned, because you'll have those, because a player like him can't be nowhere near what we are thinking about in the summer. We want world-class strikers, not Tammy Abraham, an average player. Secondly, we want, if not a world-class, we want a striker who is the next Haaland, the next Kylian Mbappe, the next Benzema, the next Lewandowski. Those are the strikers we are looking for. And you can talk about players like Benjamin Šeško, Adeyemi. Those are the next big thing in world football. So we should go in for those other than Tammy Abraham. So guys, your thoughts on Ten Hag to spend huge money on Victor Osimhen are welcome in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about Sancho being a threat to every team? And lastly, do you think United could go in and really sign in Tammy Abraham? As Telegraph Docker is telling us that United discussed about him in their board meeting with Ten Hag. All right. Thank you for watching in. I sign out for now. See you later. I hope you're enjoying the new graphics that I've really gone ahead to create here on this channel. So your reactions are welcome in the comment section below. I'm returning in the next 1 or 2 hours with the confirmed team news of Manchester United versus a side called Leeds at Old Trafford. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. I'm signing out for now. See you when the confirmed team news of United are out.